for Frodo.
Hello guys, today we'll be taking a look at LEGO Lord of the Rings and its potential for diorama sets in the future. Before we get into that, please like and subscribe. Let's go! Starting off, LEGO The Lord of the Rings has had 18 sets excluding Polybaton exclusives such as Second Age Elrond. 4 of these have been brickhead sets such as Gandalf and the Balrog or Frodo and Gollum, 2 18 plus sets such as Rivendell and Barad-dûr, and 12 play sets released back in 2013. But something that the theme has never had is micro scale sets or diorama. We know that Lord of the Rings has returned in the form of 18 plus sets in LEGO like Barad-dûr, so I believe it's likely that we'll get some dioramas in the near future. They're part of an amazing 18 plus lineup for Star Wars that go amazing with the UCS sets they have over there. So let's talk about some ideas for possible sets and just if it's going to happen. For my first idea of a diorama set, I have the Doors of Durin. The set would be about £70 and it would include figures such as Frodo, Gandalf and Aragorn. Bill the Pony would be the Mike set exclusive because there's really no other way we could get him realistically. And I'd have the current horse mold but with new prints on it. For the build, I would have the Doors of Durin, of course, the surrounding wall and rock work. I'd have the floor and a little bit of the lake in, and have the 2 trees next to it. I don't see this being a play set because there's not a whole lot of playability, except maybe if you added the water in the water. But that would be a whole lot more expensive, and I'd see that as being unlikely. And I believe the set works perfectly as a diorama. And even there's some like Weta Workshop official miniatures that you can buy for like £400 online right now. So it's like not out of the water unlikely. And while I'm on the topic of Moria, let's talk about the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. This is the bridge where Gandalf shouts, which is one of the most iconic film lines in history, and that plays quite well into the diorama sets, sometimes having quotes like, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me" for the Emperor's Throne Room set. But personally, I don't see this being a diorama as quite likely, because it'd have to include a Balrog, and that'd be so expensive to have for LEGO. If you've seen the Brotherhood Workshop version, it looks amazing, but it's huge and uses so many custom molds. So it'd either be a £300 kind of like Barad-dûr set, or it'd be a really expensive diorama. Moving off the topic of Moria, another scene that I can see getting a diorama is Frodo and Sam in Mount Doom. As we see in the 3rd film, this would be a pretty good set, have like 3 figures being Sam, Frodo and Gollum, and there's so many quotable or iconic lines from this scene in the film, but I think the "cast the ring into the fire, destroy it" is the best line that I think they could put in. But sadly, I think this is quite unlikely now, as in Barad-dûr we did get a tiny representation of Mount Doom and their climb up there as a side build, so I think it's quite unlikely that we'll ever get a Mount Doom kind of set, and I think that's the most representation it's ever going to have. Moving on to micro scale sets, there's just so much they could do with micro scales. So let's start with Argonath, also known as the 2 towers or statues overlooking the river at Amon-Hen. This is such an iconic scene from the 1st film, but I don't think they could really do it in like Barad-dûr or Rivendell size, it's just too big. So I think that the most likely option to do it for is a little micro scale set, small representation of the boats the Fellowship are in, and just kind of the towers of the Gondorian kings. This would be really cool. I see it not having a figure kind of similar to the mid-scale or Starship collection from Star Wars. Another set that I can see would be really good as a micro scale set is Minas Morgul. This set I don't think will ever release in like big scale like Barad-dûr or my predicted Minas Tirith. It is just kind of not as iconic enough to get kind of that representation, but I see it being really likely in a smaller like £40 or £70 set is a little midi scale set, which would be really cool. Talking about Gondor and that kind of area of Middle-earth, I think another really likely one is Osgiliath. I think this would be really cool, or Skiliath would be a really cool set to have anyway. And this is one where I could really see it benefiting from a figure, possibly being Faramir, but that's quite unlikely. Lothlorien is a good place to represent the elves, as I would have said Rivendell. We got a huge Rivendell set anyway, in the £430 one with the whole fellowship. It's just such an amazing set. So Lothlorien I think would be really cool as well. Of course, I think it would benefit from a figure having Galadriel, but that's quite unlikely. You could represent the trees in the extended edition scene. You see like a hill with tons of trees and stuff on it. So I see that as being quite likely. That'd be really cool as well. But the MIDI scale and diorama kind of landscape for LEGO Lord of the Rings is so huge. If we're thinking about the Hobbit here, the Lonely Mountains gate would be really cool to have. The dwarven statues there look amazing. Goblin Town would be really cool as well. Thranduil's Kingdom, just kind of general stuff like that. That'd just be really cool to have. That would never have a huge set, but could have a smaller set. But all those Hobbit ideas I doubt will ever happen. The Lonely Mountain is definitely the most likely. But since the reception of the Hobbit films hasn't been too great, recently I have rewatched them and I did enjoy them quite a lot, but the reviews aren't the best, so I see it being unlikely we'll ever get any diorama or any new sets for the Hobbit. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked my new intro. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and tell me down below in the comments what sets you think will get a remake in MIDI scale or diorama, or any brand new sets. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.